Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Martine, and if you are new here, I do videos on Vedic astrology mainly, but also with some tropical insights, and I focus on both relationship and natal astrology. And if you like this video and you would like to hear more content from me, please like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell to see when I will post a new video. And also, if you're interested in a personal consultation, I do consultations on a wide variety of topics. Please check out the video description. I will leave my contact information there. Thank you. And also, in continuation with this usual introduction, I have a little bit of an announcement to make. It has to do with tarot readings. Now, a lot of people have emailed me asking me if I am doing tarot readings, and at the time I was not. However, I have started doing tarot readings. I am not confident enough to actually do some readings here on the channel, not yet. I do plan on at some point posting, tarot readings on this channel. However, so far I have been doing tarot readings for various people online through a platform. And I have gotten some really good feedback. So I wanted to announce that I am doing, tarot readings now. And since I still consider myself to be pretty much an apprentice, I will be selling these for a very special price, a very reduced price for the time being. And if you are interested, you can email me at the email in the video description, and I can also send you some links to actual readings that I've done. Of course, they will be anonymous, but just so you can get a sense, and also feedbacks and reviews that I have received, and you can get a sense of what my style is, the duration of the reading, etc. And in case you're interested, of course, you can purchase one. Okay, so if you're interested in finding out more about tarot readings, please email me at the email in the video description. Okay, thank you. So that being said, getting into the usual program, which is last but not least, the predictions for Libra in 2022. Before I get into it, I will start with the usual list of disclaimers, which is, first of all, I want to remind you that you can apply this for your moon sign as well as your ascendant sign. And especially if your moon sign is at a lower degree in any zodiac sign than your ascendant, you might actually find that the predictions for the moon sign will be more accurate for you, okay? And some disclaimers are, remember that this is a general reading and there are potentially a lot of factors in your horoscope that need to be taken into account that could overpower some of the things that I'm going to be saying here. So please remember that as I go along and take things with a grain of salt, okay? Nothing is set in stone, okay? And then I also want to say that once again, in order to know exactly what the positions of the planets through signs are, you have to calculate a chart that takes into account your geographical location. If you're interested in finding out more about how to get a free chart and also potentially how to look into your transits, I suggest that you check out the video description. I have given more details there towards the end on how to use astro.com. It's a free platform. And also, if you want to see a list of transits, you can go on astro.com. On the front page, somewhere in the lower right corner, they will have something like ephemerides. That's what it's called. There are some lists of planets, of transits basically, that are thousands of years long. The only difference is that those are tropical placements, so you would have to do the conversion from tropical to sidereal yourself, okay? Okay, that's something I wanted to say. And also, another important disclaimer is that I have left Pluto, not Pluto, I have left Rahu in Taurus for the entire duration of the chart one phase of this analysis. However, actually, you should remember that Rahu enters Aries around April 3rd instead of April 22nd. However, to simplify the charts, I have left it in Taurus for the entire chart 1 phase, okay? And last but not least, the way that I have divided it, I have divided the transits for 2022 into 3 different charts, chart 1, chart 2, chart 3, based on the sign placements of Jupiter and Saturn. And you will be seeing them on the screen. And I have marked the colors, I have marked the aspects of the planets with different colors. So you will see with yellow the aspects of Jupiter, with gray the aspects of Saturn, and pink the aspects of Rahu. I haven't marked the aspects of Ketu because they're always directly opposite the aspects of Rahu, okay? But I will be mentioning Ketu in the interpretations, okay? So this is the entire list of disclaimers that I wanted to go through. So let me get straight into it. So for you, Saturn Pluto will continue in the 4th house from the previous year. So it will still be in the 4th house, which is still going to be the main focus during the chart 1 phase. Okay. And the chart 1, as you can see on the screen, is from around January 1st to around April 22nd, 2022. And this will focus your attention on the home base, on real estate, and vehicles in general. This shows that you can be studying from home during this time. It also shows that you will be very creative when it comes to the home environment. You might feel a strong desire to decorate, redecorate, maybe renovate. But at the same time, you will tend to take a more minimalist approach to home decoration. So you might be urged to declutter during this time, okay? This could also show that unexpected financial gains will show up, and you will tend to invest these sudden windfalls into matters of real estate and vehicles, and of course, home decoration. Jupiter in the 5th house shows that this is a good time for educational pursuits, speculative gains, and investing. This is also a good time for children, either for actually having children, conceiving, or spending time with children if you have them, okay? As well as a good time for romance. You will feel a strong urge to focus on creative pursuits, passion projects, and hobbies. Your mood and view on life will be generally good. You'll be optimistic during this time. You could also get job opportunities connected to teaching, dramatic arts, and other creative jobs, and also maybe something connected to publishing or something connected to children. This is a good time to start your own business or side hustle, especially connected to one of these activities. There will be a lot of effort on your part with respect to employment, pets, daily habits, and health. Rahu in Taurus in the 8th house, aspecting your water houses, shows that this is a good time to shed light on any kind of psychological issues you might have, take up a meditation practice, see a therapist, etc. Stuff like that, okay? It might also show arguments with in-laws and sudden changes with respect to joint finances, especially if you're married. Jupiter's aspect on the 9th house, 11th house, and the ascendant shows speculative gains. This is a good time to play the lottery, for instance, especially if you're going through Jupiter Mahadasha or Antardasha. This is a good time to start a new romantic relationship. This reinforces the idea of gains coming from creative pursuits, children, passion projects, and studies. Saturn's aspect on the 10th house from the 4th house also shows potential arguments with both your parents. You might have to deal with tough authority figures in your career, which will slow down your growth and, or frustrate your growth, and basically make it harder for you to get promotions during this time. Saturn and Jupiter are aspecting the ascendant, which shows a good time to work on your fitness and your appearance. Ketu in the 2nd house shows a distancing feeling from the family of origin. Aspect on earth houses shows lack of interest in material things, mostly, during this time, okay? So these are the main themes for the chart 1 phase. The chart 2 phase, which will start on around April 22nd, last until July 21st, around that time, when Jupiter will be in Pisces, Saturn will be in Aquarius. Ketu will move into your 1st house and will stay there for the rest of the year, at least making you way more spiritual than usual and more introverted. Your confidence and self-worth will be greatly influenced by relations to the family of origin and the state of your finances and your wealth. Relations with family of origin will get better than in chart 1. Your wealth will grow in direct proportion to your efforts during this time. Saturn will be moving into the 5th house, ruling the 5th house, which shows that this is an equally, if not better, time to start a new romantic relationship. Rahu in the 7th house supports this as well, especially if your horoscope suggests that you might date foreigners, and especially if you are going through the Rahu or the Saturn Mahadasha or Antardasha. One thing that I can warn you about, though, and this is true for the entire time when Rahu will be in Aries, is because Rahu actually co-rules the 5th house in your chart, you might develop an infatuation during this time with a foreigner, a person who is very unorthodox, unusual, maybe not even your usual type, but someone of a foreign origin. Basically, something is foreign about them. So there's a strong indication that you might develop some kind of a romantic attachment or infatuation to a foreigner. However, if the rest of your horoscope does not support the idea that this kind of a person, this kind of a partner archetype is meant for you in this life, most likely the relationship will be short-lived. And another thing that I can tell you about Rahu in the 7th is, and again, this will be true for the rest of the year and for the entire time when Rahu will be in Aries, is that be careful, because Rahu will tend to bring this kind of feeling of dissatisfaction with respect to the house that it sits in. So it might give you this feeling of the grass is greener on the other side. Or it will give you this feeling of like you're no longer happy with your partner. This is especially true, of course, if you are already in a long-term relationship. But it could give you this feeling of dissatisfaction, okay? Like you're no longer happy with your current partner or something like that. But you should bear in mind that Rahu is connected to illusions. So be careful about this, because you could be led astray, especially if a foreigner shows up and, you develop an infatuation. But yeah, this is something to take into account. Be careful with that, because, Rahu it might make things seem more unhappy than they actually are. Another interpretation, though, is quite literally that maybe your partner might initiate a breakup during this time. Okay, this is not to scare you or anything, but it is a possibility, because Rahu shows sudden changes basically in the area that it sits in. Okay, Jupiter in the 6th house aspects the 10th and the 2nd houses, which shows opportunities for employment and career growth will greatly increase during this time and will stay high throughout the rest of the year. Rahu and Saturn aspecting your 11th house, 11th house, could show delay in financial gains, especially from investments or real estate. It also suggests rough relations with friends and elder siblings. You might feel unsupported by your usual network during this time, or there could be sudden breaks in these relationships. Jupiter's aspect on the 12th shows good opportunities for travel and spiritual pursuits. Your imagination will be especially fruitful during this time. This also tends to show that things like losses or expenses will, for the most part, be decreased. Okay. This was the chart 2, and now moving on to the chart 3, which is the last one. The chart 3 will be from around July 21st until the end of the year, December 31st, 2022. And this will be kind of like a mix between what is happening in the chart 1 and what is happening in the chart 3 phase. Jupiter will be in Pisces, Saturn will be in Capricorn, and this last part of the year will not be as good when it comes to dating opportunities unless you are in Rahu Dasha, Antardasha, and also if you have supporting elements in your horoscope that suggest you might you might be meant to marry a foreigner or to date a foreigner. The Jupiter description will stay exactly the same as in the chart 1 because it stays in the same sign. However, Saturn will be casting its aspects on the 6th and the 10th house above the Jupiter aspects, which shows that you will have to work a little bit harder if you want your career to go smoothly, especially if you are employed, versus if you are, running your own business or if you are self-employed. And Rahu, also I should have mentioned this this is for the entire time when Rahu is in Aries, because it will be aspecting the air houses. This is a good time for you to increase your social circle, actually. And it's also a good time for communications, and it's also a good time for you to work in a field that is connected to Rahu. So, of course, Rahu rules everything that has to do with the IT world. So, could be anything working online, of course. And anything to do with communication, technology, that kind of thing, okay? Especially if you have a hobby that somehow is connected to a Rahu dominant activity. Okay, so pretty much, yeah, this is pretty much it. There's really not much to be added about the third phase because the placements stayed the same, more or less. I mean, the same as they say in the chart 2 and the chart 1. Saturn, again, the Saturn description will be basically the same as in the chart 1 phase. Okay. So this has been it. This has been the interpretation. I hope you have enjoyed it. And once again, if you have, please like, please subscribe, hit the notifications bell to see when I will post a new video. And also, if you're interested in a personal consultation, astrological or tarot, please email me at the email that you will find in the video description. Okay, thank you.